Hello and welcome to Sydney and Leah's Modernism podcast. Today we are going to be discussing Robert Rauschenberg, who can be considered an abstract expressionist along with a modernist. And I will initially begin with talking about one of his most famous paintings. It's actually called White Painting, and it's just two white blank canvases. And so what made this painting specifically really powerful was it was an intentional and strong break with tradition, just as modernism suggests. And this break was the sort of differing idea behind his painting that art does not necessarily need to have this reflective and perfect quality or representational quality that initially art had in many of the previous artistic movements. We see a lot of very literal paintings of things versus this, as John Cage, a famous composer, wrote, to whom has no subject, no image, no taste, no object, no beauty, no message, no talent, no technique, no why, no idea, no intention, no art, no object, no feeling, no black, no white, no and. And this, I think, really embodied what these paintings kind of represent in and of themselves. And kind of what they do is they're reflecting the moment as they are versus kind of reflecting a moment that was in the past. And the white canvas serves as a screen which kind of reflects shadows and weather and ambiance of the room. And it's really incredible because when you're viewing it, it's sort of like it's drawing you into the moment rather than drawing you into the past. And going back to John Cage, this white painting actually inspired his piece 433, which is just him sitting at the piano with no music being played at all. So in summary, White Painting by Robert Rauschenberg is a complete break from the traditional and established view of even what art is at its most basic form. Sydney, take it away.
Thanks, Leah. So the second painting we have is Retroactive 2, painted in 1963, and this is an example of avant-garde painting, which sought to eliminate or blur the distinction between art and life, often by introducing elements of mass culture. So Rauschenberg did this by relating his painting to the contemporary political atmosphere of his time. For instance, the images of JFK, the space race, the finger pointing, all of those were ways that he wove life into art, because he believed that painting related to both art and life and neither could be made. And so this was very representative of the Modernist era, which sought to reflect the world as it was. The collage technique also creates a sense of disillusionment, defiance, and discontent. It's very disruptive. There's a common narrative, but it's up to the viewer to find that narrative, and it just shows that the modernist painters really believe that there was no predetermined meaning in the world, that we can seek meaning, but in the end we're just a complexity or disparity of things, and we attempt to assemble these things into a narrative, a picture of the world and a semblance of us or the self. And yet, as many modernist writers, painters, etc. found, we often fail to find that common narrative that the Romantic writers found in all of their work. Thank you for listening.